this is a game that was requested by one of my very few subscribers, and it's a game that I've come across from time to time but never paid any real attention to. You see, back when they were allowed to make more than just Star Wars games and were bought out by Disney, LucasArts were well known for developing games with solid gameplay, enticing graphics and deep storylines. It's considered as an absolute classic, so let's see if the game lives up to the standards set by the gaming community.
Published by Konami and released on both the Sega Mega Drive and Super Nintendo in 1993, Zombies, or Zombies Ate My Neighbours as it's known in the US, is a bird's eye view run and gun game that tests the patience and skill of gamers looking for a challenge. You play as one of two characters, Zek, or Zeke, or Zach, or however you pronounce it, or Julie, a nice normal name. Do you know what? I'm just going to call him Zach. As either Zach or Julie, you will set upon to face the many monsters that the evil scientist, Dr. Tongue, has created within the depths of his castle, and who has unleashed them within the surrounding areas, causing all kinds of chaos in the neighbourhood. To start with, on the very first level, you will have 10 neighbours, or victims as they are referred to in the manual. Each victim has a different point value, and once you've rescued them all, an exit door will appear. The number of victims will differ on each level and can be located by the appearance of a yellow dot on your radar. Allowing a victim to be savagely murdered by a zombie, well, I say savagely murdered, what I mean is touched by an enemy or enemy projectile to a point they turn into a ghost, only means that you will lose out on those points, allowing you to continue with the game. However, if you're playing a level in which all your victims die, then it's game over. The game works about as well as you'd expect from a bird's eye view run and gun game, but to be completely honest, it's not easy to get that wrong. The characters move with a good pace, A is used as your primary weapon and B is used for your special items such as health and potions. Throughout the game, you will pick up many different weapons which span from your default water pistol to bazookas, cans of fizzy drinks and knives and forks to name a few. There are also a number of special items you can collect, from running shoes to potions that transform you into a purple beast. As there are multiple weapons and special items, you are going to need to browse through your inventory in order to find the object you wish to use. This was my first annoyance with the game. Now, I was using a 6-button controller when playing, so for me to scroll through my weapons, all I had to do was press the X button and the Y button to scroll through my special items. The pain I found with this is that because I didn't know the order they would appear in, I would often miss the item I wanted to select and have to scroll through the entire list again. This is frustrating because whilst you're concentrating on not browsing past your chosen item, you're probably going to find that your face is attached to the gnashes of a hungry zombie, or worse. I thought this was an inconvenience, but for those who aren't fortunate enough to own a 6-button controller, you'll have to hold down the A button and press the B button to change your weapon, or the C button for special items, which is even more of a nuisance. Fuck Sega for their 3-button controllers, they sucked. Anyway, let's move on and talk about the fact that certain weapons will be more effective against certain enemies. Things like zombies and Martians only take one shot of your water pistol to kill. However, other enemies such as mummies, werewolves and these fucktastic evil dolls will require stronger weapons such as cola cans or the ancient artifact to kill them more easily. Throughout the game you will learn to detest the evil dolls. Firstly because they throw axes, they are small and take multiple hits with your water pistol. I found that the cola cans work the best against them, but the cola cans are thrown like grenades so they have an arc, so it's best to be at a distance when attacking. As with most run and gun arcade style games, enemies respawn, so if you kill the likes of the evil dolls, it is best to keep moving. Standing still is not recommended at all. As you progress, the difficulty curve jumps from 0 to 11 fairly rapidly, with the introduction of harder to kill bad guys and the increased number in which they spawn. You can also be relatively tactical with the game. Deploying inflatable punching clowns will be used as a diversion, drawing attention to your enemies and allowing you to make a run for it. The levels have been fairly well laid out, allowing you to navigate through gardens, houses, mazes, shopping centres, pyramids, city streets, castles, factories and offices. At times I found there was so much going on, you don't want to navigate the rest of the level for weapons and ammo in fear of losing a life, and so you want to get out of the level as soon as humanly possible. I also found that certain areas of a level were not clear as to whether or not there was a path. Areas like the gardens where the leaves form a ceiling over the walls. Some of these will have paths to get to certain areas and some won't. It's pot luck and you have to try them all. On the flip side, however, things such as trampolines have been well placed for you to take a bounce on to jump over walls and reach higher areas. Ooh, bouncy. Certain levels will contain a boss character such as this gigantic baby on speed and these graboid-like worms. It's moments like this you will need to be very well equipped, as they will take an absolute pounding before dying. I recommend using the purple potion I mentioned in the intro. This will allow temporary invincibility and allow you to punch the boss repeatedly. Once dead, some will drop skeleton keys that will open skull doors allowing access to certain areas, so killing these bosses is mandatory. As well as playing this game alone, you can play with a partner and attempt the level together. This gives you a distinct advantage and personally makes the game far more enjoyable. I much prefer playing this game with my wife rather than by myself. When in 2-player mode, you are pretty much forced together as there is no split screen such as if you navigate too far away from your partner like in Toe Jam and Earl. Everything is displayed on one screen, but I don't mind this as it does make things easier to see. Also in 2-player, there will be twice the weapons scattered around for you to share, unless you want to be greedy, then take them all. When looking at the graphics, it almost comes across as a comic book style art. There is definitely a cartoony feel here. Everything is well detailed from the trees in the gardens and especially the detail in the shopping mall levels. The characters' movements are smooth, there are some nice explosions and the giant bosses and UFOs look menacing. You can see that the designers have taken a lot of inspiration from horror films for the characters. For example, the lumberjacks have a resemblance to Jason Voorhees and the swamp monsters look like the creature from the Black Lagoon. These are nice touches and add to the overall humour of the game. Zombies also hosts a range of nice music throughout a lot of the levels that change based on the theme, all of which primarily use organ-style instruments. As well as going with the theme, I found that the music also matches the pace of a specific level. When navigating places such as the temple on level 14, the game's tempo is slower than that of the music on the previous level, 13, in which you are constantly moving to outrun the lumberjacks, which is fast, frantic fun. Although overall the sound effects to the game are mostly nice, there is one thing I have to mention that really did test my patience. The evil dolls. Oh my science, the evil dolls. Every time they appear or are nearby, they let out an evil laugh that if heard once or twice wouldn't be a problem, but you are going to be hearing it again and again, and it made me want to rip my balls off and stick them in my ears to use as earplugs. I swear, you will be hearing this sound in your sleep. But this is about my only criticism when it comes to the sound effects, as other voice clips are crisp and clear, as well as the roars and explosions, which also sound very nice. Although I feel like I've been overly critical of the game, Zombies is stupid fast frantic fun. It provides a challenge in both single and 2-player modes with big boss battles, catchy music and a few other nice surprises along the way. With tons of replay value, I would definitely recommend picking up this game on eBay for around £20 on the Sega Mega Drive or £35 on the SNES.
Although I did find Zombies frustrating due to the ever-increasing difficulty, it's still a game I highly recommend you play either by yourself or with a friend. And if you have played Zombies, feel free to share your comments below, press the like button or the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook or Twitter. And until next time. Options.
building.
Reporting agreed.